class number 3. This is Monsieur Byron Cox. That's him. Told you guys I'll be getting interviewed, and we are in 1K restaurant. As you can see, we're surrounded, well, you can't see, but we're surrounded by guys. So everyone say hello.
Hello!
Oh, there we go. So we're gonna get started because we are hungry, and yeah. So I have 13 questions for you. Okay. And I know a lot of them you explained some of them in the class, so you can go, you can kind of like shortcut to answer them. So cool. Question number 1 is, everyone listen to question number 1.
Yes.
When did you start house dance, and how did you get into it?
I really experienced my first house clubs in the 90s, probably around 1995. But I experienced the New York house scene in 2000 when I moved to New York.
Cool. So number 2 is number 2 is exactly who was responsible for house dance? For creating it?
Who?
Yeah.
There isn't one person.
Or like what set of people, group of people?
And house dance is an amalgamation of the post-disco era. A lot of their movements and a lot of what took place in certain key places such as the Loft, a number of clubs after that. It was a community-based dance, so focal points probably were surrounding music and DJs, but many of the dancers who were not looking to create a particular dance vocabulary ended up becoming a part of dance. So, and then house dance as a name kind of became formalized after the post-video hip hop came in contact, the hip house generation came in contact with Loft, the after post-disco Loft and garage before that. And the name house dance was coined after the Japanese interview. Those groups like Dance Fusion.
And was it really just an accident, the way they came up with the name when they said, you do house dance, and they was like...
Can I have the shredded duck hopper?
The Japanese associated house, people did a special movement, special dance to house. They were like, you guys do the house dance. Prior, most people thought of it as clubbing or all these other...
Please order.
Shredded duck fried rice.
Shredded duck fried rice.
Yeah.
Yes.
2. You got that as well.
What? Permanent?
Oh, what? Just
for you. Yeah. Okay.
The chicken with chili sauce, is that hot or not hot?
Well, chicken chili sauce. Which one?
He's gonna be in the interview.
Chili bean sauce. It's hot.
He knows. He's like,
Bean sauce.
so what do you want?
It's hot. Yeah.
Because I don't want. As far as popularizing it, you'd probably say that. As far as popularizing it, you'd probably contribute most of that to dance fusion. And then the Japanese, you could say Alma, and then Plain Step in France, probably popularize it today.
Yo, nice. Okay, question number 3. How do you think the scene has changed and developed, and do you think it's a good or a bad development in terms of like the actual house dance? How has it changed from when it started, and is it a good or a bad change?
I think it's part of the natural evolution of things. You know, we have a tendency to romanticize, what happened in the past. And, oh, this was great. If you look at any country or any culture, the past had good stuff, had stuff that was really bad. So for all of the cool, great clubs in the 90s, we were also contending with violence and other things that were tough. So I'll say that I'm glad that the scene is growing. You know, I'm glad that I could be here and seeing people have the opportunity to share in the dance that they love. Yeah. See.
Sharing the house, people. Sharing the house. Sharing.
It's a brave new world. It's a brave new world. I'm glad it's spread around the world. There are certain key things that I want to see continue to happen. And like, what made this dance fun for me was how and what way individual people and their personalities mixed, gelled, had an opportunity to dance together. You know, the competition was always a competitive edge. That's part of humanity. But house dance allowed people to be and demonstrate all parts of their personality. And when competition is brought as the top level for a dance like house, it limits, I think, the experience for people around the world who may or may not be indulged in the fun dance of house necessarily to just be competitive. So I want to see more creativity in events. I want to see club culture grow and people understand why club culture, especially with house. I want to see more people dancing with each other. And I want to see a lot more expressions from a wider band of individuals. I want to see a lot more women in the dance. I want to see various countries and their adaptations. So yeah, I'm curious for the future.
Cool. Number 4. What do you think of the current state of the UK dance scene from what you have experienced?
I'm glad it's growing. I mean, UK has always had ridiculously good music. So it was always this paradox. It was like, oh, you hear that? This DJ from the UK is amazing. Where are the dancers?
Have you been to Tokyo?
Get to that.
Get there.
No, the clubs in Tokyo are worse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everybody watches the DJ. Really?
Everybody watches the DJ in Japan.
Not necessarily. You got to be in the know. Because Tokyo is like hidden. Like everything's like, you have a building that looks like a bank, and then you make a right, and it's like a club.
I went to Terry's too, and even though there were dancers there, but they hardly didn't.
You gotta know, man. You gotta go to Shibuya Underground, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta feel the vibe. No, what's the question? Tell me about something. UK scene. So, I really want to see more dancers take charge of their music, because the music that you have available to you, like, you guys are going to be able to do things or be connected to the music in a way beyond many other folks, because you have such a rich musical tradition. It doesn't take a lot of you, like, oh, we need a mass of people. No, just do it. Do it. And then you can, develop a lot of interesting things. I mean, it's the UK funk is nasty. The things you can do with that are amazing. And, go with it. So I just want to see it grow, and I want to see. I really want to see how you play with it, because I'm very curious.
Okay, this kind of leads into the next one. It's a bit of a long one, but I'll chop it up. And basically, I feel that some of the reason why, from what I observed, the strength of the house dance community in a certain country is partly due to their culture as well. So, for example, like London is so culturally diverse that sometimes it comes off as counterproductive, because it's like there isn't one way of doing things, there isn't one culture, it's just a bunch of different nations and different people in one place. Whereas somewhere like Japan is very, they're very disciplined, or somewhere like France, there's a lot of sharing going on. So if you agree with this, do you think that the boundaries set by the culture of a nation, do you think that can change? Like, if it's holding the house community back, or any dance community?
That's an interesting question. I think I look at a lot of these things almost like the stock market. So the question is, with house, what's the addressable market? And the addressable market is, if you can move, you can do the dance. And there's absolutely no saturation, in England, because it hasn't developed yet. So it's really, I feel like it's on the people here to look at it, instead of it being like the challenge, as a tremendous opportunity. Like it's completely untapped. Right now in Japan, the problem they have is they have too many schools. So, like some of the qualified schools that might be in the inner city, they'll have students who are out like in the outlying areas go to the local studio, whether they're good or not, because it's just like it's such there's so many studios and it's such a part of the lifestyle that everybody just goes to every studio. And everybody thinks they can teach and blah 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 whatever. So you don't have that situation here. So I think you have an opportunity to learn from all the other cultures. And again, if you didn't have the music, then I'd be like, oh, but you have such great music that I think New York is very diverse. That diversity allows for us to concentrate on the dance as the reason why it works. Because if it was about like, yo, you're black, that's why you're dope, then house wouldn't exist. Because it just wouldn't. But you notice that there's so many things and components, and when you go to the club, you see everybody getting it in, then you're forced to focus on the dance and less on what makes everybody different and what kind of socioeconomic status exists around.
Cool. Okay, question number 5. This is a quick one. Do you have any advice to give to the UK scene, such as how they could become stronger as a community? I think you've kind of...
Yeah, I mean, you know, just recognize that you each have talents. You know, everybody is dope, you know. House, you're good when you walk in the door. So now it's about taking these toys and playing with them. Once you accept yourself, then you can accept each other and listen to each other and just try stuff. Just like if you would with the dance, like you have to try the step. You know, when it comes to doing events, support each other. You definitely got to do that. If you learn nothing from the Japanese scene, when your people have an event, you go, and that is it. There's no question about it. There's no like, here's the deal. Take your dumb behind to the event. Because at some point, you're going to have an event, and you need those people to come to your stuff. When you start supporting that way, things can grow and change. But definitely support each other, go to each other's events, do stuff, so that it encourages everybody else to do that, and your scene will grow naturally.
Cool. Number 6. What other styles do you do? What is your favorite and why?
I like to pole dance.
With the bitter melon and rice. Shinzal chicken and rice.
Sweet and sour. Not mine. Is that
Shinzal chicken.
sweet and sour chicken?
Shinzal chicken and rice.
So they're both the same. Yeah. We play my style.
Pretty much.
Fire away.
Cool.
Skills.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
Oh, other dances I do.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. I do the hip hop and I do the
chicken rice. Duck fried rice.
Thank you.
Curry chicken rice.
You know, I've never actually heard of myself like that. Okay, other styles. I do hip hop. When I was a kid, I used to break and do popping. East Coast style. I also swing dance.
Swing dance.
Yes. Yes, I'm a swinger. You know, I play a little in soca and some other stuff, but anything that I enjoy. And I've done some contemporary dancing. I was with a company called Blacksmith's Daughter for a little while.
Did you have a favorite, or is it just you like it more the same?
I mean, I love house, obviously. I like the context, where it exists. And everything else, I just enjoy the expression on different levels. But yeah, I mean, obviously, house is my favorite.
Yeah. Cool. So last 3 days. Next one is.
3 weeks, alright?
Okay, what is your favorite type of house music?
Oh man, that's tough.
Like if you just had to pick, maybe 3.
Well,
Because there's so many different kinds.
that's true. I don't like to have the label debate, but I'll say like things I'm enjoying right now. Like the House Dance Project put Tech House on the map. So that's what's up. I enjoy how Tech House challenged the movement because it forced you to break everything up. But Tech House was dope because it was the backdrop of Soulful House. So if you knew Soulful House and Tech House, it forced you to flip between the two. And like right now, I said the one thing I'm really kind of digging some of the stuff they're doing with the UK Funky, man. I mean, keeping it real, man. That's crunchy. This crunchy hotness.
Serious.
You know? Unapologetically so. Like, they'll make it reminds me of soca in a way. Like,
you're gonna pay for
there are too many men in here. Wait, there's a song about that? Too many men. I'm into it. Like, it's fun, man. So, UK Funky is fun. So, I'm having some fun with that right now.
Cool. Next one is almost there. How do you feel about the new wave of dance styles such as Repeat. How do you feel about the new wave of dance styles such as new style and more recently turfing?
I think they're young, and once they mature, I think they'll be interesting. But I think everybody wants now, right? In the now generation, as soon as it's on YouTube, it's been around for like 30 years. A lot of dances were whack at the beginning.
takeaway culture.
But it took 20 years for it to get hot. So a lot of times too, you have to watch because the media likes to identify with anything urban. Like, oh my God, this is so urban and black and ghetto. So what?
Turfing isn't really a new style.
No, it's not.
I mean, whatever. They'll throw labels on it and they'll play with it. If the kids have fun with it, I don't really care. But at the end of the day, challenge it. Battle them. The Footwork Kings came to New York, and we went at it at Simpson. So to see if their style, to see what they're working with has some merit, get into it, and it helps them, and it helps you, and it helps grow the kids.
Okay. Cool. Next one. I personally feel that the foundations of what hip-hop dance originally was has either been lost or incredibly diluted over the years. If you agree, why do you think this is?
Video killed the dance star.
That's a good answer, actually.
If you need to analyze, like, what used to make a dancer before videos, and what makes a dancer now, it's almost scary. Let me get this straight. You had a cumulative, maybe total, you had 10 seconds in a 3-minute video, and you're good? You put that on you teach workshops because you were in whose video? Wait, it wasn't your video, right? Because why are you good? And why do we believe that makes them good? If you're in a Madonna video or if you're in a Michael Jackson video, you're in the video. It doesn't make you dope. Now, there are dope dancers in these videos who will get down in a second. Not all of them. So, to me, there's a tradition. There's a tradition surrounding underground dance styles. And when all of the tenets are there, it's dope. And it continues to grow and produce additional dances, additional people. When you start removing components of it, it becomes hollow. The house, to me, still has all those components available to it. You know, there's a rites of passage, the ritual, basically, I was going to say. The ritual of dance, when it's lost, it's just a bunch of moves. So house still has that rites of passage, you know, that feeling of entering the cypher, that feeling of dancing with friends, that feeling of getting lost in the music. These are milestones in your house development. You can even go so far as to say, well, do you have to call yourself a house dancer? No, when the community calls you a house dancer, then you're good. So you don't have to worry about naming yourself. So these traditions manifest constantly, and thus you have a living, breathing dance. Hip-hop, on the other hand, came in at the time when the videos came in. And one, it pulled it out of the club. Two, left up to directors of videos to tell you who had merit and who didn't. And they're not invested in the dance. So dancers looking to be successful or be commercially successful were looking to give to the director, not necessarily give to dance, not necessarily preserve a culture. It became a job. When you start removing, again, all these various components, you just end up with something else. What's interesting, though, is these things have a tendency to come full circle. So video dancing, it's not even 20 years old, really. It's barely 20 years old. So, well, actually about 30 years old now. But now a lot of those dancers are like, what am I doing? And they're asking questions, and for those who can provide answers, they'll start coming back around. So we need to be ready for that to happen, you know, for our friends or whoever who are like, I've been dancing, but now I went to this party and I see you freely doing something, and I've been dancing for 8 years and I can't do any of that. That happened to me, and the dancer was in a major dance company in New York for hip hop. When we danced, she, for all of her 7 years, going every week, couldn't do a single thing. Which is, to me, a tragedy. So if we preserve the ritual of dance, then I think as people start to ask questions, which they will, it's just the nature of it, our opportunity to bring the ritual back will be available.
Cool. Oh, next one. We got like 4 more left, almost there. Okay, since house is a dance that comes from within and is about feeling, how do you feel a house battle should be judged? For example, I've seen a lot of tricks versus feeling, or borrowings from other styles versus feeling, and it goes either way sometimes. So how do you feel about how house battles are judged?
Well, the whole house is a feeling is a misnomer. House is a feeling is a line taken out of context. So when you hear the song isn't saying house is a feeling. Put it to you this way: house has feeling. When you start to relegate things as just being feelings, you remove responsibility. So you might as well just do nothing. So house is not just a feeling. House has a feeling. So when it comes to techniques and stuff, yeah, there's steps, there's stuff. When you go to a club, you know when you're like, house, something else. No one's stupid. They know. So now that we have established that there's some movements, there's a group of things that we like, we come to enjoy, we like seeing happen at a high level. It's what motivates those movements. When I judge, and I'll speak for myself personally, I always give at least 3 categories, and I'll do between 5 and 10 points per each category. So for the event in Oslo, and I write notes for each dancer. That way, the feeling component.
Why you're judging? Why are they dancing?
Yeah, well, because everybody should win. An event, everybody should win. So if you come to me and ask, oh, so what did you see? I can give you what I saw, clearly, and that way you have a takeaway. I start with technique. Like, I want to see techniques. I want to see them. I want to see mastery. I want to see symmetry. I want to see your ability to move, your ability to tell me more about the music, your ability to speak to the different levels of the music. Speak to the music at the tempo, rhythm, music, like instrumentation and meaning levels. Your ability to play with all of those things and demonstrate, and kind of demonstrate the song that way. I work in that technique. And then various components of house dance. Then I talk about your musicality with respect to the technique. And then with your musicality with respect to the technique, I add how or what way are you translating that emotion of all of those things to me. So it's not feeling in the void, because feeling in the void means I can literally just touch my ear and be like, oh! It has nothing to do with house dance. But giving me a single step and really tweaking that so that I feel the energy or the vocal or something from the song links these various components together. Dancing to the horns is great. Dancing to the horns with technique is better. Dancing to the horns with technique and allowing me to feel that, to me, is a fun way of, again, if events are essentially game shows, and that's all they are, then you've given me something to play with. You've given me something that I can enjoy in that moment.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Next one. If somebody could only pick one other style to complement their house, what style would you recommend to them?
Dance. The reason why I say that is, I think right now we're in a point where so many people are trying to find every excuse to not practice. So they want to go to salsa class because they're not good at house. You get good at house if you practice. Period. But there are movements in house that have a huge contemporary leaning. There are movements in house that have a huge Latin leaning. But being good at any one of these other dances doesn't make you crap in house. You need to learn house. So, if you like dancing, other styles, then do it. Being good at dancing makes you good at dancing. Doesn't really matter which style. But to complement house, I don't think there's a particular. It really depends on your entrance. Like right now, you see certain popular things like, oh, I saw somebody do some capoeira movements. I saw somebody do some salsa movements. It's only because you've seen a few people because they're on YouTube. But I've seen people with again, there's guys like, there was a huge ballet influence a number of years ago, which changed a whole ton of dancers. There are dances inside of house that are understated, like hustle and other things. So it's just about learning to dance, really. And if you're good at dancing and anything else, then bring your experience to house. But if you're gonna learn house, do it.
Do it now.
Do it now. Where's the house you up?
Cool. Second to last one. Where do you want to go from here? Do you still have any goals you wish to accomplish?
I want to go from the whole house to the White House. I would like to see. It's gonna sound weird, but I really would like to see everyone have the opportunity to see and understand house. They can choose whatever they want to do with it. I think the tragedy is that there are so many people who dance for so many different reasons. House gives such a personal opportunity to dance and to meet and to be with people. And there are so many people who will not have that chance in their whole life. And to me, that's kind of a tragedy. Like, if you had a chance and you decide not to, that's cool. But to never have a chance, sucks. Because I think house, one thing I love about house is that it celebrates life better than I've ever seen in almost anything. So I would really like to be in a situation where I can grant this option for house to as many people as possible. And where that takes me is, I really don't know. I'm just kind of a servant of the community.
And the last one, the generic final standard issue question. Is there anything you want to say to the house dancers in the UK and across the world? So it's free. You can shout someone out and tell them you don't like them or something.
Yo, shout out to Danger Mouse for giving me a hot accent. Yo, word up, Penfold. Nah, man, I really like to thank, D-Lo and Cashmere for bringing me out here. I'm sorry Cashmere's so short, but if you keep eating those vegetables, he hates vegetables.
Them away.
one day you'll be a big, strong house dancer too. Just really enjoying it out here. Looking forward to like what's next.
House Dance UK.
House Dance UK.
You have to look at the camera when you do that, because that makes you look cross-eyed when you look there.
House Dance UK.
Cool, so that was the interview. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm probably going to put subtitles because of the baby crying and the chef. So
that was Kashmir.
That was Kashmir and Kashmir's hiccups. So everyone, say bye. Hey, you guys, Aaron. Hello. Aaron. Say peace. Say bye. Say hello. Then say bye.
注ぐ紫外線 UV キャンなどお構いなしなしやってきましたよ真っ白なビーチ突然視界に潤しの君逆算ボディに小さなスピード素敵なスピーチ的なリリーチ私は恋に落ちましたピースいつの間にやら私は眠々あなたの隣で流れる